slope intercept form, or is that the, yeah, is it, I think it's slope intercept form. So, bottom line though is you have to do one and then do the other to solve the equation. You can't just do half the work. So, yeah. Oh yeah, it's starting to rain outside. I hope my camera don't get messed up. So then we get McMahon's big announcement after this matchup. Donald Trump is the new owner of Raw. Wow! What a blockbuster! You know? What a blockbuster! Ugh! You know, they could have did something better with this. You know, they could have, like, you know, there were rumors that maybe Ric Flair could have been the Raw GM. They could have brought back another wrestler from the past to be the Raw GM. They could have made, like, someone on the roster, like Regal, be the GM. But, no, they got to get Donald Trump to be the GM. Why? You know? I mean, I really, like, I'm not, like, I don't, like, despise Donald Trump or anything, but it's like, he's not in, like, the wrestling business, you know? You know, yeah, he did the little, you know, hair versus hair storyline with McMahon, you know, with the WrestleMania, but it's like, he's not in the, you know, in the company. Why do we have to, like, you know, see him now? Or whatever. And it was funny, too. After McMahon announces that, he's like, live via satellite, Donald Trump. And then Trump's not even, like, live on satellite. It's a recorded video from earlier. Because if it was live, like, McMahon was, like, trying to, like, interrupt him, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, that was kind of disrespectful. But it's like, you know, Trump wasn't even, like, reacting to when he said that. Blatantly, like, a recorded video. So it's like, oh, here's the new owner, but he can't show up live, you know? So, or even if they would have just said, you know, like a special, you know, video of the new owner or something, I think even that would have been okay. But, like, they act like he's live, but he's just, you know, it's a recorded video. Cuckoo! So, oh, and Trump announces live that there's going to be a commercial-free Raw next week. So, McMahon's like, oh, that's preposterous, so I guess Trump wants to pay his own advertisers or something. So that'll be interesting, but it's not like, you know, earth-shattering or anything. Like, this is more earth-shattering. That's more earth-shattering. So. Oh, and McMahon announces that there's going to be a 10-man battle royal later to determine who's going to fight Orton at the Bash. So, we'll go into that in a little bit. So next we got Mickie James versus Rosa Mendes, one-on-one. Maurice came down to just kind of watch the match at ringside. Not a bad matchup. I mean, like, it wasn't a great Divas matchup. Well, I guess it was. Well, actually, let's categorize it. It was an okay Divas matchup. A great Divas matchup would probably have had Mickie James versus Beth Phoenix. But Rosa, like, she, you know, Rosa's trying to wrestle. You know, she'll probably get a little bit better over time, but, like, right now she's not, like, you know, a great wrestler or anything. So that's just my kind of thoughts on Rosa. But Mickie James won the matchup with her screaming DDT. So kind of gives them a little bit more momentum with the Mickie James versus Maurice feud. Which technically Mickie still should have a title match like right now because she beat Maurice twice, you know, in a one-on-one match and in a tag team match. So, yeah, give her her match already. So then we come back to Hornswoggle and Goldust shooting off t-shirts in the crowd. Okay. I was kind of wondering where they were going with this. And then Miz comes out. So, and then basically he tells Trump that, you know, Miz is going to be the new face of Raw. You know, Cena's the past. Miz is the future. And then he says he's going to win the Battle Royal tonight and he's going to win the championship at the Bash. And then he talks about how he's going to do, like, more than that. He's going to be on, you know, be in movies, on magazine covers, and blah, blah, blah. And then he, like, looks at Goldust. He's like, why are you still in the ring? Get out of here. And then Goldust is like, you know, Miz, your mind games suck. And then Miz is like, oh, yeah, like, you know, what would you know or whatever. You know, you're clinging to your past glory, blah, blah, blah. You know, because Goldust has been back in the WWE, like, 4 or 5 runs already. So, and then Goldust is like, yeah, but I play good mind games, like when I made out with Ahmed Johnson. Yeah, that was cool. And then, but he did say something funny, though. He told Miz that, like, he should change his name to Wiz because that's what the crowd does whenever Miz comes out. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then Hornswoggle's, like, you know, adding in, you know, his goofy stuff or whatever, too. And then Miz is like, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time with you, Goldust. And then he's like, Trump, I've got a message for you. And then he just goes back to Goldust and clocks him with the microphone and then hits him with a DDT. And then he shoots a t-shirt and Hornswoggle goes nuts. It's great. That was so funny. Because I can't stand Hornswoggle. Nobody cares about Hornswoggle. Nobody cares about Hornswoggle. So, oh, and one thing I like Miz's, like, little DDT, because he kind of like, I'll stand up for this. He'll have the guy like this, and, like, he just kind of snaps back and drops him with it. Like, I think he does a way better DDT than, like, Tommy Dreamer does. Like, Dreamer just does, like, a basic DDT. So, Dreamer needs a new finisher. I don't know how I got started talking about Dreamer. So, but our next segment of the night, we got CM Punk backstage, and he talks about how he was a conquering hero when he cashed in his Money in the Bank, you know, last year when Batista beat up Edge, and then he beat Edge for the championship. But then he said something about how when he did it to Hardy, how, like, you know, he feels that most of his fans, you know, like, what did I write down for that? I got a funny joke with this. What did I write down? Oh, how most of the WWE Universe agrees with him on his move. Well, the only part of the WWE Universe that agrees with his moves that I know of, because all of us in the internet are bitching about this for the most part, maybe half of us are at least, I think the only fans would be like the asteroids near Uranus. Damn! So, yeah. So that's who agrees with him. And then Matt Hardy shows up and basically says that, you know, if he was in Punk's shoes, he would do the same thing, you know, cashing in on his brother, blah, blah, blah. Then Punk's like, you know, you and I are different, and, you know, you've never won the championship, and you suck, and I hate you, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Look how bad my paper looks from frickin' being outside in the rain. Yeah, but I wanted to come outside anyway for my Mather. Mother Nature cannot stop me. Oh, God. Okay. So we get an ECW commercial, and it says, the commercial literally said this. After Tommy Dreamer scored off against Kristen, was his title match his last? Ugh! We just watched the match on the show. Dreamer won the match. We know it's not his last. He's going to be champion tomorrow on the show. Today on the show. Today's Tuesday. We know he's champion.
That is something I already knew.
Stop airing commercials like this, WWE. Stop it! And this weather's messing with my brain. So, anyway, let's continue on with the show. We got World Heavyweight Championship match. We got Edge versus CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. I would say this was match of the night. It was, if this wasn't, it was definitely on par with the Jericho versus Ray match from earlier. It was really, really good matchup. You know, all three guys worked well together. Let's see. Well, Punk won the matchup. He won the, let's see, I'm trying to remember. Jeff Hardy hit a swanton bomb on Edge. And Punk was outside of the ring, like, selling a knee injury that he got from, like, hitting his knee on the steps or something. So Jeff Hardy hit a swanton bomb on Edge, you know, was going to, you know, get the 3 count. Punk pulls him out of the ring, you know, shoves it, runs him into the steps, and then comes back in and pins Edge, 1, 2, 3. So Punk retains the championship. And Theodore Long comes out and announces that on at the Bash it's going to be Punk versus Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight Championship match. So kind of the rematch. It kind of does make me wonder, though, like, you know how, like, if a champion loses the match, they get the rematch clause? Well, Edge lost his title in the ladder match, but technically, you know, was Raw his rematch clause? Because it wasn't like he said, I'm, you know, invoking my rematch, you know, my rematch. And technically, I mean, I guess Jeff Hardy's rematch would be at the Bash. That would be his rematch for the title, but shouldn't Edge still get a rematch, too, at some point? You know, just wondering. Oh, and Jim Ross had a great comment on this, and this is why I missed Jim Ross being on Raw. He said, if Edge is the ultimate opportunist, then CM Punk is not far behind. You know, he's 19 to 20, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I thought that was really, really funny. Because, you know, it's like, it's 19 to 20, how it's like, you know, it's like second best or something, but it's like not right there, but just far behind, just like not that far behind. That was classic. Not vintage, but classic. So, what's next? Then we get the Hart Dynasty versus the Colognes with Priceless at ringside. And here's another question I got to ask. Like, are they still called Priceless now, or are they just going to be just simply called Legacy? Because I thought Legacy had, you know, DiBiase, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. The three of them, you know, collectively were called Legacy. So, is this tag team of these two guys now just called Legacy, or are they still called Priceless?